Yeah.
always be the case. Now, for some of them, injury is definitely a big part. Matt McLean, for example, has consistent and constant oblique issues, and so like there's no doubt that plays a role in McLean's bat speed loss. I don't know the injury history of the rest of the guys, but McLean was the first one that came to mind. But when you see, like, I think that Twitter account, was it Reds and 4 that tweeted at me about it?
Yeah, I believe so.
That, yeah, I didn't know that they all lost bat speed. I'll take their word for it. But then if that's the case, then yeah, there's a coaching decision. And that doesn't mean that the coaching led Villick as a bad coach or something like that. That just means that, for example, if all you did was preach bat speed and that's all you cared about, that wouldn't be good either. So imagine a team that has imagine a team that has extremely high bat speed. And then the coach is just pushing more bat speed. That's not probably like, it's like pushing Hunter Green to throw harder. It's like that's probably not. Yeah. It's probably not the issue.
Right.
I'm not saying like Hunter wouldn't be better if he threw 105. He probably would be, but that doesn't mean we should probably focus our efforts there. But that said, yeah, the Reds hitting when I was there. CJ is different with the Mariners. They care about bat speed, as you can tell from the playoffs, and you can tell by the types of players they acquire and how they train. And you can tell on players like Leo Rivas, who we had with the Reds. So Leo Rivas was with us when I was in AA, or he was in AA when I was there. Leo was released, and then CJ with the Mariners made sure to pick up Leo because he loved him with the Reds. And then he's a big leaguer and he's had some big hits in the playoffs. And he's a career minor leaguer. Like a bunch of people on Twitter were saying, "Oh, career minor leaguer beat us," but the reality is that Leo has always been very good underneath. And people like CJ have gotten the best out of him. So that's been awesome to watch. And so that being said, is that when they moved out from CJ, and they were definitely not an organization that prioritizes bat speed. Then I assume that's the case now because they've made changes in the minor leagues since that. They let CJ go, and then they brought in other guys. Those guys have since been let go, and those guys were definitely anti bat speed. So I don't know who's there now, but when you look. It could very well be the case that the minor league coaches are all about bat speed. But the problem is that because there was this period of time when Matt McLean and the others were in the minor leagues, then they get to the big leagues, then their bat speed is not sufficient. That's the lagging effect of the minor leagues, and that can be a pretty big problem. And so I don't have any insight on that, but I would just assume that the Reds probably don't prioritize bat speed very much. I don't agree with that. You can tell. I'm sure if you did any research on the Boston Red Sox bat speeds, I think you'll see something pretty obvious is that we really, really prioritize it. And you've seen some pretty good gains in those guys. So yeah, I don't know exactly, but it is a huge part of the game. And to kind of ignore it is probably a mistake. You can never say for sure, but it probably is a mistake, yeah.